Hello. Greetings. Welcome. Welcome to, once again, Crow Stream. This Crow Stream in which he will draw. Big surprise. This is a thing he does. Me. He is me. Me, Crow. Will draw for you. Yeah. Anyways, welcome everybody. Welcome to the stream. Sorry, my throat is like a little dry right now. I did drink a little bit of water, but apparently it's still very dry. I also feel like I got like it's like I got cat hair in my mouth, but it's like there isn't. I don't know. There's a struggles of having a cat. At some point, you will end up with cat hair in your mouth. I really should turn on my air purifier more often because it gets very dusty and cat hair and all that stuff, and it's gross. Anyways, so what is the goal today? Well, we're doing a drawing stream, but we're doing a unique drawing stream today. It's not just a regular drawing stream. We have a little thing that we're gonna be doing, and by we I mean me. I'm gonna be doing something. So, today the goal is to come up with a character design. This is something that I like to do every once in a while on my own, just because like I like to kind of, flesh out ideas that I have and just have like a foundation for something in the future if I ever decide to revisit stuff. It's like planning, right? It's like you're setting up a starting line for something that you will eventually finish. And for me, I think something that I always like having is a character design to be locked and loaded for whenever an occasion arises that I would need such a character for something. God knows why, but it's just something I like to do. So today we're going to be essentially doing some character designing based off two ideas. So the first idea is essentially this I came up with the other day because I don't know. I was thinking of animals. And I was thinking of animals that I've never really drawn before. So Tanuki. And the second idea is that should also be in all caps, huh? Who cares? Who gives a shit? Card shop / game shop. Don't worry about my penmanship. I am an artist, not a writist. Anyways, so this is the idea. The idea is such. Tanuki and card shop. And the reason why I came up with this was because one, Tanuki is one of those animals that I haven't really ever drawn, but is like a popular animal to make a design based off of, or to make like a whatever, right? And I was also thinking about Brand New Animal, BNA, the Studio Trigger anime, in which the main character is a Tanuki girl. And I'm like, I've never really drawn a Tanuki girl before. Maybe I should give that a shot. Because at first I was thinking raccoon, but then I thought, but what's a little bit more interesting than just a raccoon? Raccoon dog. So that was the thing that that was just something that I'd been thinking about. And where card and game shop come from, well, I was having a conversation with my friends because something that me and my friends do when we get together is that we play a lot of card games. By a lot of card games, I mean we play a lot of Magic the Gathering, right? And I've gone to game shops with my friends. I've gone to see them play Warhammer. They go to card shops frequently to either buy cards or to play some games of Magic the Gathering with folks and whatnot. And it's really, there was, I was thinking about if I were to open a card shop, what kind of I would love to have a mascot or something to represent the shop and stuff like that. Because you go to all these local card shops and they'll have their thing is oh, this is this so and so card shop, this and this card shop, and they'll have a design or something. And I was thinking, wouldn't it be cool to have a shop where you have a sort of mascot to be the thing or whatnot, right? And so the idea came from why not make make a card shop mascot that is a Tanuki girl. I don't know how my brain got here, but that's just where my brain went when it came to like trying to come up with a character design. So this is where we're at, and that's the prompt for today. That is the idea. So I'm gonna draw essentially a Tanuki girl who is on her way to a card shop to play some Magic or Pokemon or Yu-Gi-Oh or One Piece or whatever that she would play. But the whole point is that it's supposed to be kind of representative of like, you know, that kind of, you know, clientele and people who are into that kind of stuff, you know. So we're gonna be doing some character designing based off of this idea. Anyways, and then we'll get started. So first of all, Tanuki are interesting in that um they do have the face of a raccoon, so they got like a very much like this kind of thing going on, right? They got this kind of thing going on, but they do have like more of a prominent like snout than just raccoons do. Like they almost have fox like they almost have like fox like heads, and I think that that's interesting. They're also just very round, you know? But the other idea for like why specifically I decided to go with like Tanuki and all that is because of the like Japanese myth of the shape-shifting Tanuki, and I'm like, well, what if it's like a Tanuki that shapeshifts into this visage to be able to play card games with people and stuff like that, and that's sort of where the idea came from. I do gotta say I do love how rotund Tanukis are. You know. And of course, because they're like raccoons, they have the like face mask. But it's interesting. They've got ears that like teeter on being like dog-like and also raccoon-like. They're very stout ears. And it's dark around the edges. I'm mostly just doodling a Tanuki so I can get the idea of like how their ear and all that stuff works. And then their tails are like big bushy. Almost like that. Like they're very similar to foxes in that regard. Except unlike foxes and raccoon, well, no, actually, unlike raccoons, they don't have like the rings on their tail. I think they just have like the tip of the tail is dark. To be like that or something. It is interesting. They're such cute, unique animals. Kind of love them. All right. Let's see. I think right now I just want to figure out what the figure is going to be, like overall shape. And I think something I decided was that I don't want it to be just like, let's see. Let's see. Maybe something along the lines of this. Yeah, I want the figures to be a little bit more shapely as well, like a little bit more on the thicker side. Dun, 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 dun. Let's see. Mm. Hmm. Let's see. Hey, what's up? Welcome, welcome. What is up, Gravity? How's your day going? Well, I hope. Play with gamers say, how am I? I'm doing well. I'm just doing some chill drawing right now. Working on a little idea I've had kinda in the back of my mind and decided to turn into a little character design stream so others can kind of see the process. No OC? Not necessarily. It's more just like an idea I had for um like a character design that was brewing in my head. And it's not so much that I want to make it like an OC and more just like it's a design that I kind of want to try and make more than anything. So that's the goal. So the idea was essentially um I play a lot of card games with my friends, play a lot of Magic the Gathering and stuff like that. And so I was thinking of, you know, the times we've been to card shops or game shops, and I'm like, what if you had, like, what if I was designing a mascot for like a card shop or a game shop or something, you know? And so the idea was for this stream, at the very least, to try and design that kind of mascot-ish character. And for some reason, I kind of latched onto the idea of a Tanuki girl, and so that is where this character design is going. Yeah. So I was imagining, what if there was a Tanuki girl who was into playing card games and was going to your local card shop? That is the basic premise of what this is. Um, and just wanted to, like, again, do some light character designing. Hold on. Doing this for the sake of streamlining. Yeah, so it's about iterating. This isn't gonna be like, oh, this is gonna be a new major OC thing. It's more of just like, I wonder if this idea, if I can make something interesting out of this idea that I had. I think another part of the inspiration for Tanuki Girl comes from the anime, um, Brand New Animal from Studio Trigger, in which the main character is a Tanuki Girl. And I was thinking about that. Can you make this eye a little bigger? Actually, you know what? What if I... Do you think your model have animal? What do you... What? What do you mean? If you had to animalify your character, what would it be? I think a lot of stream just immediately goes to, well, you would be a crow, right? And I'm like, not really. To be honest, I don't see myself as a... As much as, like, it would be easy to just be, like, crow, I don't feel very, like, crow, like, bird-coded, personally. I have drawn myself as an animal. Hold on. Here. I can show you. This. The one on the right. I think I'm more dog boy coded than anything. So like I went with like coyote slash wolf type ish thing. I feel like I fall more into that category than I do like, because like the stream will also tell me that it's like, oh, you're very cat boy, and I'm like, I don't think I am very cat boy. I think you guys want me to be cat boy, but I'm not very cat boy. Yeah, if I had to give myself any kind of animal theming, it would be like coyote. But I think it's just because I called myself crow that people automatically assume, no, you'd be like a crow or something. And I'm like, I don't know. I think if I ever did lean into animal theming, it definitely would be like more dog. For sure, though. Oh! Why didn't the sound go off for me? That's weird. Anyways, thank you so much for the raid, Lily Cat. Welcome, welcome. Hi, hello everybody. Welcome. We're doing some art. We're doing some drawing. My name is Crow Corvawing. Um, I do the art and the playing video games and all that stuff. Hell yeah, welcome. That's my introduction. No, but thank you so much. I really appreciate it. We're doing some character designing right now. My theme is Tanuki and Card Shop. So we're making a Tanuki girl who goes to her local card shop to play Magic the Gathering or something. That's the theme today. That we're doing a character design stream. That's right. But thank you so much for the raid, Lily Cat. I really appreciate it. What were you doing? What were you up to? I hope you had a good stream. Hmm. You were building Legos? That's cool, actually. That sounds like a fun stream. I'm glad I'm glad it went well, I'm assuming. Oh, I guess for anyone who is wondering, it's like, oh, Crow, what else do you draw? This is my most recent artwork. It's sorry, it's a lot of ass, but do you like Lilith from Darkstalkers? Well, then you'll like this. This is my most recent drawing. So if you ever want to see what his Crow's finished um drawings look like, it looks like this. Um, and also I do like my own the going live thumbnails, which looks like this and stuff like that. I have a very diverse portfolio of art stuff, but I draw a lot of fighting game related things and also just original characters and whatnot. Let's see. Very shiny and smooth. Don't worry, they love ass. Oh, then they're gonna love it here. But yeah, the whole premise of this stream is essentially having an idea, like having two themes for a character design, and then just like iterating on it and seeing how far we can take it. Also, you'll notice something as you watch me enough is that I like drawing girls with short hair. I'm very biased. So I want the hair to look. Hold on. Let's see. Let's see. So I'm drawing her with kind of like a messy top of her head because her thing is that she's going to be like, she wears hats because she doesn't like to really style her hair. And make it so like the tip of her hair also has like the little, like it gets darker as it gets closer to the tip because similar to Tanuki tails. Like that. Something like that. I'm gonna do for characters, but I can't seem to illustrate them for whatever reason. Just doodles never seem to be acceptable, if that makes sense. I think it's because you need to allow yourself to draw stuff that is going to look bad. I think a lot of the time what we do as artists is that we will draw something, it'll look bad, and then we'll immediately throw it away. But the reality is that we should hold on to those like bad drawings as well, because then we can iterate on them later as well. That's something that I had to grow out of doing as well, was like, oh, this is a bad drawing. It's like, yeah, but I can make it better, you know? And that's the whole idea. Do you like wearing hats IRL? From time to time. I do have a lot of hats. It depends on how much I actually want to deal with my hair or not that day. And also if the outfit I'm wearing goes well with the hat is the idea. I don't draw hats that often either, so like this is also a good exercise for me to draw hats more. But I think for the hair, I kind of want to do something like this, which isn't that exciting, I think, as hair, but... I think overall it looks pretty cute. And this is just like the first iteration of this, so I will definitely be trying to improve it. Do something like this. So you get a better idea of what our eye is actually going to look like. Something like that. Like I said, I wanted to give her rounder features as well because Tanukis are very, Tanukis themselves are very plump. So I wanted to draw sort of thicker, more shapely character. With more of a this kind of figure, you know? So now the question is about the outfit. And I know, like, I already have a OC that wears, like, a cropped hoodie, but I was thinking of doing kind of like a cropped hoodie situation. Or at the very least, a cropped sweater. Maybe not a hoodie, maybe just like a cropped sweater would be nice. Kind of dealy. I know I do want her to have like short shorts, similar to Belfie. What about a crop hoodie? The reason why I'm not like so gung ho about just giving her a crop hoodie is because my other OC has a crop hoodie already. So I'm like, should I just do a crop sweater instead? Would that be more ideal? Well, the prompt is that she is a card shop. Like she is a nerd going to her local card shop, right? That is sort of the idea. So there are little aspects of this design that I want to make sure are very apparent. I think I decided that I do want to give her like thigh-high socks as well. So there are some aspects I already have. She's going to be wearing sneakers. She's going to have thigh-high socks. She's going to have big old sneakers, and she's going to be wearing a hat. Now, the cropped sweater slash hoodie debate is the only thing I'm like trying to figure out. I think I want to do a crop sweater. Any hairpins? Maybe, but I'm trying to like get like I'm trying to get the bigger details down before I get the smaller details down. I think maybe something like this. Something along these lines. Something like this. Hmm. Maybe not the off shoulder, but maybe just like the very open neck. Hmm. Let me see. I need to find crop sweater style. Crop sweat. Hmm. This is good though. We can iterate. This is why we do live iterating on. And having reference is always useful. Actually, this might be a good idea. I think I could still do the crop hoodie. It would just be... I think I would just do it like this. Yeah. Something more like this. And then the one thing that I wanted to add that was like more of like a fantasy sort of thing is this big belt that she would be wearing that sort of has like almost like card game anime protagonist where it has all her deck boxes just hanging off of her belt. Because the caveat of this is that I still want her to be kind of like a little bit dorky. Then put that there, and there, and do that. Do for sure something like this. We got a base. We got a good base to start with, which is this. Like another aspect that I didn't really get around to drawing is that she's also wearing a backpack. And on that backpack, she has like her stuff. Because if you've ever gone to a card game shop or a game shop, you would know that a bunch of nerds will carry their backpack with them as well. So that's where she has her extra supplies of things, like extra cards. And play mats and stuff. Be something like that. Hmm. Oh yeah, and of course her tail. Almost forgot one of the most important parts. Tanuki tail. Actually, hold on. I'm trying to go for like a good blend between like kind of cartoony, anime-ish, and also somewhat like realistic outfit. I feel like the more I try to go realistic outfit with it, though, the more boring it's gonna be. So I guess pushing it into like the absolute like anime character design limit is probably the best idea I can make here. And then, obviously, the leggings. Can you make her calves just a little bit thicker? Mm. Oh, I know it'd be good. Her belt buckle is a leaf. Because the way that Tanukis transform is by putting a leaf on their head. So it'd be neat if there was like a leaf motif. Get it? I don't want it to look too Animal Crossing-esque. But that's the idea. There we go. Something like that. That's her without the hat. I'm gonna draw her with the hat as well. But just so like you get an idea of like what the base is gonna be. And right here is another deck box. I'm gonna put like she has like two on each side of her belt. That'd be more like right there. Then so it's almost like a casual fantastical kind of take on what this would be, right? I don't know what that shape would do. I just want to make it like a nice round shape, or like a kind of like that. Make something similar to this. Sorry, my sketches are so messy. This is like when I'm iterating, it just looks like this, like just scribbles. But also, this brush that I'm using isn't necessarily meant for sketching. It's more for line work. Do that. Maybe having that little bit of a wave to her hair is actually really nice. Like that. Just to make it a little bit more shapely. Mm. I feel like this is should be a little bit more reined in. Doesn't have to be exactly even, but okay. I could have pushed it and made her more furry, but I think for now I wanted to do more of like a human design at first, and then later on maybe adjust and see how much more furry we want to push it. Okay. As for shoes, I'll do a big chunky sneaker. see. I'm gonna do the leaf motif as well on the shoes. So it really shows. I'm gonna give it that like little thing that a lot of these chunky sneakers have at the back right there. Really going for that almost like 90s big sneaker look. I was talking about this the other day, but it's like I miss the big Kingdom Hearts shoe, and that's sort of like one of the inspirations for this is big Kingdom Hearts shoes from like KH1. I don't know. I know they're goofy as hell, but like there's something I kind of adore about the fact that they were so unapologetically like huge and whatnot. They're recognizable, and I think that's what I liked about them. Let's do something like that. Big chunky shoe. Let's see. So like as a rough draft, this is what we're working with. I think I can make this work. There's gonna be some micro adjustments here and there, but this is a good base to start with. This is our Tanuki girl, still unnamed. Probably will be unnamed for a good while. since that's not the focus here, is not to give her a name. But yeah, so this is a good place to start with. There's just little details that we gotta add to her, like what else is going on personality wise and whatnot. But as like a base outfit, I think this works. I think I want to make it so like the sleeves, the hood, and everything are different colors. I want to make them something vibrant too. Okay. I'm gonna do a quick BRB. We'll continue iterating on this when I get back. Stay tuned. All right, BRB. Okay, I'm back. Hello, chat. I have returned. Sorry, I had like a coffee right before stream, so it's hidden. Okay. So the design itself, the design of the Tanuki card game girl is not that complex. Like it was not meant to be. But I think the idea is very strong here. And one thing that I was thinking of was, with the myth of the Tanuki and all that stuff, there is the There's an elephant in the room when it comes to the design of a Tanuki, right? And well, this Tanuki in particular is a woman, is a girl. So there's one aspect of that myth that she unfortunately will not have. So I figure one thing that'd be funny to add is that instead of having the other sack, what if instead she has a big backpack? And that is her big sack. You know? That's sort of the joke is that she has a big backpack that she wears and that is her sack. You know what I mean? So it'd be maybe something that goes up from here, from here. It'd be like this just round. And it's just full of stuff. Like instead of having that there, the latch is right there. You know, and then it's like it's almost like magic where she pulls out all the excess cards that she has out of the sack. I guess it doesn't really work when you see her straight on, but I feel like the whole gimmick of it I think works really well. I think once I have like all the other details down, but I guess if we're just doing base design outfit, then this is what we're kind of going with, you know. We get rid of the backpack straps. Let me just have just the hoodie. And then this is the idea. Let me erase this. Because I want to just throw on some quick color onto here. But I think also, I think because she is like a messy Tanuki, I think she for sure would have torn shorts as well. There's a lot of design overlap here with Belfi and this Tanuki girl. The difference is that, again, she is going to have leggings unlike Belfi. So there's more of a clear contrast between the characters. Let's see. So we're gonna have her be just a little bit bigger. We're gonna refine some of these shapes a little bit more. There's a little bit of Marvel Rivals Squirrel Girl also mixed into this. Not gonna lie. There is a little bit of that as well. That's fine. me see. Bam, 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 bam. Something like this. Here we go. I think the fluffy hair suits her quite a bit. I just don't know if I want to put something like around her neck. Like I feel like a choker would be too close to what Belfie has. Hmm. Hmm. I guess she doesn't need anything. I think having a point of rest is good. So like, this would be a point of rest. This would be a point of rest, and then like here and here are all points of rest because otherwise there's like too much going on. So I think that that's good. Something important when it comes to making a character design is remembering to have good points of rest, so it's not too busy. I think it's something that like a lot of people forget about when designing characters and outfits and stuff. Is like sometimes you need moments of rest. I think in the modern age, there's a lot of cases where, and especially with a lot of like VTuber designs, where there's not a lot of places of rest in the middle of the design. So it's just like visual noise. And sometimes it doesn't translate the best. And you can chalk that up to a lot of, what Hoyoverse was doing and a lot of like Chinese gacha games are doing with a lot of their character designs. Where it's like about putting as much detail into it as possible. And I don't think that that's necessarily bad, but it does become overwhelming in terms of like design aesthetics go. I think it can lend to bad trends or habits within certain things, right? So like there's, the discussion about like, I think I've had this conversation before on stream, but like the conversation around like Zenless Zone Zero and how much the designs for season 2 forward kind of changed dramatically compared to season 1, in which season 2 was doing more of what they do for like Genshin and Honkai in terms of adding like a bunch of the tiny details into the character designs, like all the little lines, the trimmings, as opposed to before where it was like a lot of urban inspired wear with like a lot of moments of just like this is just somebody's casual outfit mixed in with like tactical gear, So I think that there is definitely there is definitely some nuance that can be had there, but when you're doing too much ornamentation, it can be distracting or it can be overwhelming. So it's like you gotta find a good balance when it comes to that stuff. I always err on the side of simpler, mostly because it's easier to draw, but also because I think it's like when you make simple, appealing designs, they're more memorable to people as opposed to when you just start like putting too much detail into something. Who's this cutie we drawn? Well, Rock, welcome. This cutie we're drawing is part of what today's stream's challenge thing is, which is creating a character design based off 2 ideas, which in this case it's Tanuki and Card Shop. So this is your Tanuki Card Shop girl. The idea is, me and my friends, we play a lot of Magic the Gathering. We'll go to game shops and card shops and stuff. And, you know, I think the idea is that she's almost like a mascot, but also imagine like a Tanuki girl who loves to play card games, and that is sort of the idea here. So I added that she has her deck boxes are on her belt. So she has easy access to them at any time. She's supposed to be wearing a hat. I drew her without the hat for now just because I wanted to kind of get an idea of what her head, like general head shape is going to be. And like base outfit. But she's going to have more accessories. Like she's going to have a hat. And then she's going to have a big backpack, which is her sack, her Tanuki sack, if you would. But yeah. That is what we've been doing so far. I think I got it. I got the base design down pretty quickly. Because I'd kind of been thinking about this design for a bit. This pretty much stemmed from the idea of like if I owned a card shop, what would the mascot for that card shop be? And then I was thinking of like animals or whatever, and then I was just thinking of Tanuki because I never really draw Tanuki before, but I like Tanukis. I think they're cute. And I'm like, Tanuki girl. And thus she was born. She does have a lot of design similarities with Belfie, don't get me wrong. Like the short shorts and the crop top. But her idea is that she's supposed to just have like more overall little accessories on her. And different types of hoodies, like a zip up hoodie. She's gonna have the hat. She has the thigh high socks. One of those open head hats. Let the ears breathe. No, the hat that she's gonna wear is going to have holes for the ears to pop out of. The inspiration for her was essentially Michiru from Brand New Animal. Because I like the idea of a character who can transform. But this also serves as a base for if I ever do want to like tweak the design in the future as well. How you doing, Rock? You been doing good? I did really stream because I think I had some delayed. Yeah, something. I said, "How you doing, Rock? You doing good?" messing around with 3D stuff again. You know, it's funny you bring that up because I was thinking about like trying to pick up Blender again because I want to model some 3D models, to be honest, for like future projects and stuff and for stream reasons. So I'm like, I'm gonna have to look into that. Mostly just want to learn low poly stuff, to be honest. Like the very stylized low poly stuff, and see how I can do that. There was this there's this like channel that was talking about like easy tutorials to do the process, you know? And I might go looking into that. All right, we're gonna do a little quick throw in some color onto this, just so I can have an idea of what I want to do. Get that. Get that. Oh, I just realized did that on the wrong layer. Give me a second. All right. Sorry about that. I had a package. Personally, I'm looking into what is the rig process for common uses of 3D models. Yeah, I want to learn that too because I do want to rig like a low poly VTuber model that'd be like nice looking, you know. If not, I at least want to like model something and then see if I can get somebody else to do the rigging. But point is that I want to be able to make like 3D, like simple 3D models is the point. Okay, so I'm not gonna get too wacky with the colors, to be honest. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make her hair, because Tanukis are typically like dark brown, black, and all that stuff. I think I'm gonna go with like almost like a purplish brown for her hair. And then I think I want to make her clothes more pastel. So something like this. Push the bottom around to answer. Yeah. And then there's like a bajillion tutorials online as well, so I think this is what I want to do in terms of the overall hair color. And then I think for clothes, I was thinking of an almost pastel yellow and like green, like a teal almost. I don't know. Well, we'll play with color right now. We'll play with color, see what works well. Hey, Rosie. This is just like a quick pass just to see. I think I want to do like that. So either teal or pink. You know, maybe something like... Let's see, there's pink. Let's try more of a pastel-y green. Right. What if we do like a pastel green and even like her shorts? Are like the same kind of pastel color. Um, maybe the sleeves should be a different color. Maybe we'll go pink for the sleeves? Hmm, might be too much. Maybe sticking to two colors is the way to go. Okay, what if I make the sleeves green? Right? If we do that, then maybe do pink on the little things. And then maybe her undershirt is pink. Hmm. All right, well, we'll revisit that. Then obviously leggings. And then the deck boxes. Do you guys think the pastels work? Or should I go with something like maybe a little bit more vibrant or muted? Let's see. I think the shoes, I'm gonna be bold. And I think for the shoes, I'm just gonna go with the classic white because it's supposed to be like 90s-esque big chunky sneakers. Having them be all white is kind of like very classic. And then maybe what I'll do is I'll add some of that green here as well. That'll be like that. So I'm gonna do this. me see. Not what I meant to do. Let's do this. Maybe having kind of eye color. And then her herself. Tanukis are a bit on the... They'll have darker fur. Like something along those lines? Hmm. I mean, I'm feeling like the pastels doesn't work quite as well. Like, I do want her clothes to be bright. It's just about like which colors work the most here. Let's mess around with it. Let's do a slider first and see. Okay. Hmm. Hmm. I think I like this variation the most with like the green top and all that. Like the green undershirt and then the blue. I think the only issue is that the sleeves being a different color is what makes it kind of weird. Chain green enough. All right, Rock. I'm not just gonna suit it to be your needs. It's gonna be whatever I deem is, you know. Let's see. I think I like the idea of her having like a green undershirt a lot more. Maybe, hold on, maybe we do this. Maybe blue pink top, green undershirt, green shorts. And then I think for these, instead of making them green, we'll make them pink as well. You know what? I think this... I think this works out a little better. And then... What was this? Let me see. Hmm. Ah. Maybe something like this? This color combo work? Or again, is it too pastel? Hmm. Hmm. Maybe, you know what? I'm gonna do something. I'm gonna throw a wild card in here. Maybe it doesn't all have to be pastel. Oh wait, hold on. Maybe we can do this. Maybe we pick one color to be her accent color. And it's the green. And it looks a little bit more uniform now. Yeah. Sometimes going simple is a lot nicer. So she has like a white and green. But again, it matches with the green that's inside. And as well as her shorts. What do we think, chat? What about this color scheme? Green. This looks better, right? A little bit more color coordination, and especially with the darker skin tone. Because it's still pastel, but it's not like a bright, like it's not like 5 different colors all fighting for each other, you know? You get a nice balance of the kind of off-white. Yeah, I think also because of the Tanuki and nature theme, I think I wanted her colors to be a little bit more earthy, so it's like the more green, the darker skin tone, the hair color being a little bit more purplish red, you know, clashing with the black accessories, you know. Yeah. I think with pastels you always have to be careful because you really don't want to hit like too many colors at once, depending on what the theming is you're going for, right? You always want to be careful. But this is, I think, as far as like a base design goes, this is like the base design. And then we do something fun here, which is for her for effectively the cards that she's going to be carrying. They're going to be color coded to specific magic color types. So it's like depending on which deck she wants to play, there she has that deck on hand. Because magic is all color coded decks. So you have red, blue, black, which is sometimes represented by purple, you know, stuff like that. So like you get splashes of like color coming from the belt. Mm. All right. I think I'm gonna flatten this design. Do a little bit of cleaning up here. Let's see. And of course, thigh squish, because it's important. Thigh squish is always important, as we know. Yeah, one of the goals for this character design too is that I wanted her to be a little like, more shapely. So she's like a little bit more on the she's a little bit more on the chubbier side. Because Tanukis are very, very plump and rotund creatures. Make her legs fatter. You can do that yourself. You little freak. Her legs being like this is better for her proportions, to be honest. I feel like if I made her legs fatter, it would mess with the overall proportions that she has going on. And I'm not trying to turn this into fetish art, you know? I think I will do... Must have been the wind. Yeah. Must have been. Mm. What is this peaceful Mario music? It's Delfino Plaza. No. Okay. This is like in terms of the base design, this is what we're going with. A little bit of a warm, soft light just to help with some of the bits, but yeah. I think if anything, I'm gonna make her eyes probably like a little bit bigger or more expressive. But I think in terms of base design, this looks fine. Now let's do a more... With this in mind, let's do a more refined drawing of her. with her hat. Give her ears a little bit too much roundness there. Okay. Now let's... bring this here. You know, I'm gonna draw her also with her backpack on as well. Her massive sack, if you would. Let's see. Sorry, I went non-verbal because I was fucking concentrating real hard just now. Character design lends to me locking in a little bit too much. her belly button, and that's where. We're gonna do this, so I get a feel for her hair shape, which is like this. And she's holding cards because she's ready to play. Yay! Card Shop Tanuki. Don't have a name for her yet. We'll think of something. There's still much time left to deliberate on this. Oh, what if I made her hat like a Jotaro hat? Where it's like kind of torn up in the back. That'd be funny. It's like, why are you so mean? No. Card Shop Tanuki. Well, depending on how her first draw phase goes, she might be chopped. To be honest. That's just how card games go. Chopped Tanuki OC. Yeah, something like that. Okay. How's it shaking? It's shaking pretty well, I think. I've created a new character live on stream. So I think it's been going pretty well, to be honest. in that regard. Okay, we're not gonna do the Jotaro hat thing. I think I'm gonna be a little bit more reserved with that. But her ears are gonna be poking out of her hat like this. But welcome. Sorry, it's been kind of half of this stream has been non-verbal. I didn't think I was gonna be that locked in for this, but turns out I was. Turns out this was the exact kind of thing that I was really wanting to draw today. To be fair, I'd been thinking about this like all day today, essentially. So I was like, how can I finally start iterating on this? I hope it's at least been like an interesting process to watch, because it pretty much was a from start to finish, how do I design this kind of situation. It's for anybody who likes the process kind of stuff. And to be fair, I don't think the hood needs to go all the way down. But yeah, the inspiration for this came from essentially just friend of mine talking about like the proposition of like starting a card / game shop and stuff like that. And in my head, it's like it'd be nice to you know, do something like that. To be honest. And with that, I was like, well, what would a mascot for a card shop? Like if I was to design a mascot for like a card shop, and I was like, oh well, this is pretty much the exact kind of thing I would design. That's how it works. It's hard to draw by itself. Also, talking makes it god tier difficult. I think it depends on like what I have to talk about. Sometimes my brain is full of yaps, sometimes it isn't. I'm not gonna lie, I was kind of feeling off today, and almost straight up said like no stream. I don't know. Something just had me feeling off all day today, and I was like, am I even good to stream today? I feel like I'm probably not going to be the most energetic or exciting. I don't know. Things have just been kind of feeling weird lately. I can't even really put my finger on it, but maybe there's just like a general doomer air in the atmosphere right now, and I'm trying to not fall for it, essentially. But yeah, so I was feeling a certain way today, and then as soon as I started stream, I kind of it was starting to go away. I think it was just like work was just dragging me down a little bit, like it usually does. You know, but you know, came home, was feeling better, and was feeling more motivated to want to do this stream, because I like doing creative streams like this where I'm just really using my brain to like make something, you know. I'm sure you guys like seeing these kind of process things as well. Because I know a lot of artists, there's a lot of artists who struggle with like character design and stuff like that. And I think people always find it so interesting that I'm somebody who is able to iterate really fast. But it's kind of just it's something that I explained to people a long time ago, where it's like my brain kind of just runs like 1,000 miles a minute when it comes to like making characters and stuff. So for me, doing designs like this is it kind of just comes naturally, since my brain is always trying to come up with like these sort of designs anyways. And sometimes I really just want to get them down on paper, or like just draw them out so that I can refer to them later, you know. But for this one, it was mostly when my friend was talking about the possibility of like opening a or running a card shop or something like that. It got me thinking of just like the idea of a mascot, and like I said, that's where this kind of spawned. Because I was thinking animals, and then Tanuki came to mind because it's a cute animal, right? And I never really draw Tanukis. So then from there, I just kind of was like, okay, Tanuki girl. Never really drawn a Tanuki girl either. I think I want to round that out a little bit more. So what if I do that? You know? And that's how we got here. And so I was like, okay, what is the theme today? The theme is Tanuki and card shop. So how do we combine those two in a creative way? Right? This is a challenge to me, just like to come up with things quick, because I think when you're iterating, I think it's good to do these kind of quick concepts before really doubling down on what you want the design to be, because obviously I'm going to come back to this and change certain things of this design, but for now, with what I have down, I think the design is fun, and I think that's enough, right? That if I can just like cook up a quick fun design, then from there I can just start really iterating on it. And it goes back to the idea that somebody before in chat said that they tend to throw away like a lot of their ideas and whatnot. And I'm the opposite. I believe I hold on to every bad drawing I do, because you never know when you can come back to that same idea and, you know, go at it when your head's a little bit more in the right headspace to design for things like that, or when you have more of a concrete idea of what you want to do, you know? Because I think as artists, you know, I think artists and any creative people in general are so quick to look at a design or look at an idea, it not being perfect on the first go, and then wanting to immediately throw it away, you know, because it's like, oh, why would I hold on to the idea of failure? But the idea is that you can always return to that thing with like a clearer head down the line, and then maybe the idea itself wasn't bad, but your execution was just not, you know, the best in that moment. You know what I mean? So it's like you want to come back to it when you feel like you're at somewhere better. I don't know if I'm explaining that correctly, but essentially the idea is that there is no that even the bad drawings can be like a step forward, you know? You need to get the kind of, you know, the rough stuff out to make room for the more you know, well done sort of ideas. Turning at fake stuff is harder than coming up with something new. I feel you. I think it's sort of the opposite, actually, because if you're at a point where when you're starting something new and you're not quite getting it, that means that the idea you have in your head isn't as complete as it would be when you came back to it later. You know what I mean? I think if you ask anybody with OCs, they'll tell you this, that the first pass of your OC is never going to be the one that you stick with, and you're going to spend literally the rest of your life redesigning them you know, constantly till you find that sweet spot. And it doesn't have to always do with just like design sensibilities. Sometimes it's literally you just get better at drawing and you get better at drawing certain things. So you go back and you decide to iterate, you know, on a design that you really liked. You know what I mean? Like that for me. I know that I can get back to whatever project I started earlier, but it's harder than making something new. Definitely always going back to recycle old ideas. I think you gotta find that sweet spot for you. You gotta find which ideas or which projects are the ones that you really really enjoyed. Hold on to those, and then just remember that you can always come back to them. You know, no idea is finite, in my opinion. I think you can always iterate, at least in my opinion. I know not everyone feels that way, and some people would rather start from square one. But the reality is that even then, you never really start from square one because whatever things you learn from the first pass, you take with you. So you're always technically iterating, you know? At least that's the way that I, you know, look at it. I think I want to do this for the leaf shape actually. Because again, I feel like a lot of artists end up being like way, way too hard on themselves. So it's like a reminder that you can always come back to something. That the first pass is not the last pass. It's just the beginning of something. You know? It's good to leave anything as is. I have a huge archive of drawings I did as a kid that are cringy as fuck. Are they? Maybe you should go look at them again. Maybe you'll find something that you would admire from there. Because I feel like we write our kid self off or teenage self off way too easily when it's like that was the beginning of us refining our tastes, you know? So a lot of the time you can go back and be like, wait, no, this idea was actually kind of good. I just didn't have the skill to make it look the way I wanted it to, you know? That's something I learned. When I was younger, I really wanted to do a lot of stuff revolving around horror, but I was way too young to understand the nuances of what made horror so impactful for me. So I put that stuff kind of like in the back of my mind, and then when I went back and I found like old sketchbooks of me drawing like horror monsters or ideas and stuff, I I was like, wait a minute, I understand what I was trying to do now, but back then I couldn't. I didn't have the skill to pull it off. You know what I mean? It's stuff like that is I guess what I'm getting at. Was that something that Super Saiyan 80 Shadow the Hedgehog with the lightsaber did go hard? But that's what I mean. I think even now as an adult, you still think that Shadow the Hedgehog with the lightsaber is dope as shit, right? That's something that has not changed. I could pull it off way better. If you say so. I'm sure there's an audience for Super Saiyan 80 Shadow the Hedgehog with a lightsaber out there. But point being is that even the cringy things you liked as a kid can fuel you and your creative drive as an adult, you know? They're crazy cringe. You have no idea. Here's some gems. Not gonna lie, I probably won't be able to try again to make. You're writing yourself off too quickly. You're writing yourself off too quickly. You'll never know unless you try. I was like, hey, Jaber, does she have big naturals? Yeah, she does have big naturals. You think I'm gonna design a chubby Tanuki girl without big naturals? What am I, stupid? What's the point? Like Gandalf, yes, exactly. Like Gandalf and his big naturals. Anyways, hey Jaber. This has been a character design stream in which I have been designing a Tanuki card shop girl. That has been today's challenge, so to say. See if someone said Gandalf has big naturals? Yeah. Did you not know about his big naturals? That's why he was very popular in the Shire. You know? So I elaborated on this earlier, but a little funny thing I'm doing here is like, so in Japanese mythology, the Tanukis are known to have very large sacks, we'll call them, um, for good fortune and all that stuff. Well, our Tanuki here, doesn't have doesn't have that kind of sack. So instead, she just has a big backpack, and that is her sack. for good fortune and all that. You could have given her that still. Let me just say, I didn't want to draw her with massive balls. Mostly because it's against TOS. Second, because I just don't want to draw her with massive balls. But also, I thought it was more clever that if instead of just, like, you know, balls, it was like the sack where she puts all her card stuff and whatnot, you know? I thought that was a little bit more clever. But I see that everyone in this goddamn stream is a fucking 12-year-old. If you guys want to see balls so badly, Google, show me balls. It's right there. You can see all the balls you want. Hell, some of you could just fucking look down. You see them every day. Why do I need to draw balls for you guys to be satisfied, huh? Why is that a thing? You fucking perverts. Boobs are kind of balls? That is not... That's... I'm panning you too? You were a part of this! You fuck? Wait, they're onto something? No, they're not. They're cooking nothing. Your design is clever and I do really like it, Crow. Well, hold on. Do you want to see what the actual design looks like? Here. Hold on. You know what? I don't think we need this one. This is what her actual design looks like. She doesn't really have a name right now. But she is essentially Card Shop Tanuki. Yeah. So are the balls? She doesn't snatch balls. That's not what she does. She plays Magic, the Gathering, or whatever she plays. She plays card games. Why are you guys so fixated on balls? The backpack or sack is just where she keeps all her gaming stuff. That's the point of it. Yo, omitting the key Tanuki feature, man. Ah! Anyways. How does this help you? Shut up, Rosie. Anyways, this character is just a nerd who plays card games because I'm very obsessed with card games. Well, not obsessed, but I'm like playing a lot of card games with friends recently, and talks of card shop stuff has just made me want to make a character who also plays card games. That's it. That's the premise. I just thought she'd be cute if she was a Tanuki girl. No, I didn't think about her having huge balls. That was never in question. Come here and fuck with the guy while he draws. Yeah, pretty much. Getting into MTGs because my favorite drag queens are playing it weekly on YouTube. I'm too deep in the hole because my friends got too deep, and also I bought too many cards when the Final Fantasy stuff came out. So I was like, well, I might as well keep going. And then I bought the what was the fucking Lorwyn Eclipse when that came out, and then I bought some Spider-Man packs, and I got some really good drops in the Spider-Man packs. And then I pre-ordered the Strixhaven booster box, and so that's coming in the mail at some point next week, I believe, the Strixhaven stuff. So woo! Yeah. So I'm in there. I'm in there deep, but at least I have fun. I do have fun with the game. I wouldn't be into it if I wasn't having fun with it. I don't win that often, don't get me wrong, but I at least don't lose immediately. Better be having fun. Well, I mean, I think the thing that like makes Magic enjoyable from a gameplay perspective is that you fine tune the decks to exactly how you like to play. So, for example, I have a Sephiroth deck, right? Which is just it's just a fun thing to say. I have a deck that is just where Sephiroth is my commander, and the whole premise of it is to bring Sephiroth out, and so he fucks shit up. But the way that deck works is that it's a mono black deck, and black decks usually the gimmick is that you're sacrificing cards in order to strengthen something or in order to get health and take health away from people. So the majority of the deck revolves around whenever something on the field dies, I gain health and everybody loses health, and that's how it works. And then after a certain amount of time, if Sephiroth is on the field, he'll transform into Safer Sephiroth, where he's the big angel form. And then when he does that, it does even more damage, and then Sephiroth can do more wacky shit. So like that's the whole, appeal of having things like that, is you can play styles like that. I have a cloud deck, and the whole point of the cloud deck is it's called a Voltron deck, in which all you're doing is getting bits and pieces like weapons and artifacts, and you're equipping them to Cloud, so every time Cloud hits, he hits real hard. There was a point where I legit, like, we had just started the game. We were maybe on turn 5, I want to say, and I got Cloud to do 11 damage, like, just because I equipped him with a really strong item right away. And because commander damage is doubled and Cloud was my commander, I was hitting my friend for 21 out of his 40 health of damage. So, yeah, I was a problem immediately and they had to get rid of me. So you could do fun stuff like that too, you know? You also technically don't need to spend that much, to be honest. Like, if you really want to just play a deck, if you wanna like play a deck that you think would be fun based off like a card that you saw that you enjoy, you can just proxy it too, and it's way cheaper, you know? That's what I recommend to a lot of people, honestly. Like, if you could proxy it, just do that instead. You know? Because people don't care. You can proxy and nobody's gonna be like, these cards aren't for real. They'll just be like, oh, okay, yeah. You know? For anybody who doesn't know what proxy is essentially you find a deck, you get somebody to print it for you and stuff like that. Now, I'm not telling you to do that, but I'm just saying that that is an option. You know? Especially with how expensive these cards can get. But me, I'm a collector. I like collecting things, so like having the actual cards is also very, lucrative to me. There's like a handful of Miku cards that I want to get because yes, Magic the Gathering did have a crossover with Miku as well. And there are several Miku cards that I want. They're pretty expensive, but I want them. But I am going to make a deck based off Ina from Hololive soon. I also am building a Scarlet Spider Ben Riley deck because he's my favorite Spider-Man. So it's like fun stuff like that. You can literally just make themed decks based off of things you enjoy, and so it's I'm also gonna build like a Star Fox themed deck at some point, and make Fox into like a commander. Oh yeah, I should turn off the cat ears. Sorry. You don't get that. Anyways, one of my streams always end up like with semi-cursed conversations at some point. I blame Jer Bear. I hate that guy. We don't get ears, we don't get balls. I'm definitely at fault this time, my bad. Call me so bad, bro. Can't keep the cat ears too long. You want them back, you pay for them. You drop the funny bucks. Oh, you guys want to see something else I'm working on? That is something I don't often. Yeah, all right. Thanks, Rosie. I think some of you guys will like this drawing that I'm working on. I wonder who this fella is, and why does he look so beat up? I wonder what this could be for. Anyways, stay tuned for more on what this could be. Is bro playing Invincible? What? No. That is not what that's for at all. Just lunch money still. No, it's thematic to my VTuber. And his whole and my whole backstory and all that stuff. Remember, beat 'em up game character. Whatever that drawing means. Oh, do this. Or leads to mean. It might have to do with some stream shenanigans. Just because I like doing fun stuff and need to update some of the assets around here. You know. There's a lot of assets on my stream that are very old that I have not updated in quite a long time. They need proper retooling. I've also been meaning to talk to some friends, some artist friends, commission them to help me out with like some assets and stuff for stream. I just know a lot of people are busy, and so I don't like bothering them unless they're like commissions open, and then I'm like, oh boy. But yeah, I feel like I'm stacking a lot of stuff on my plate lately, but I think that that's good because I feel like you know, for a bit there, I was just kind of like not knowing what I wanted to do really long term, you know? Like streaming was just always kind of in the back of my head. It's like, yeah, streaming this and that and whatnot and doing my usual thing. But like, you know, sometimes you want to do something a little different or you want to do something a little bit more involved. And I like doing like very creative things. So I think my brain was finally like, oh hey, let's do something a little bit more, you know, involved. And so, you know, it was like, you have that old YouTube channel. Why don't you do something with it? And it's like, you know what, brain, you're right. Maybe I should do something with it. And so, you know, that led to me wanting to make YouTube videos again, which I'm doing, right? This might be also something that is leading into that because I want to do a series on I want to do a series of videos also on just like doing character designs, like on the fly, and how iterating doesn't always have to be something that you do in one go. That sometimes it could take several attempts. So, you know, this might lead into something like that. Not that I'm an expert or anything, but I at least want to be able to um, you know, give people, I guess, a little bit more confidence in terms of them wanting to do character designs, but feeling like they're not at a adequate skill level and being like, well, I don't think there's specifically a skill level you have to, you know, surpass to get to wanting to make character designs based off like, you know, singular themes or given ideas. I think that you can attempt it no matter what. And then if you don't like the initial design, maybe hold on to it and see what aspects of it you can use later. You know? Cause to me, I don't know. It's like I said earlier. I don't think any idea should be just thrown away straight out. I think you can make something work. Maybe not right away, but there's always things you can draw from it. You know, if not the idea itself, pick pieces apart from it, make it into like a sort of Frankenstein's monster of a new idea. You know what I mean? A lot of my OCs are actually like that. You know, they're just bits and bops from like other OCs that never saw the light of day. But I was like, well, I like this character's hair, and I like this character's outfit. So what if I combine these things and make something new? You know? Frankensteining OCs is awesome. Yeah. Weirdly do the opposite sometimes. In what way? Add something dope to an OC, then go, wait, no, I can make a separate character for that, then rip out of them into a new guy. Well, I mean, I think that's also a part of that process is like maybe something that didn't work for this OC will work for a different one, you know, and stuff like that. And to go with the more earthen tone colors, I think a brownish tan works for the backpack. Female tomboy is dark skin, my favorite. Welcome, Captain Jules. Let me see. Do more of a brown bag like that. Then maybe make this part lighter. So make that lighter and then make this lighter. Oh yeah, that works. Yeah. Cool, cool, cool. And then... hats will also be... Wait. Yeah, I'm glad I went with the more off-white for the overall color scheme and the green. I think that initial pastel idea, like, in my head, I was like, this is gonna work better. But then when it was all, like, coming together, I'm just like, no, having, like, this multicolor, like, thing is not... Like, it really was not looking good. I think in some aspects it could work, but, like, not for the overall design here. I think sticking to these, like, more earthy tones... Like overall earthy colors helps a lot more. But then still making them kind of pastel. But I think when you also think about like mascot type characters, you also want to think, okay, what is going to be the overall color scheme too, right? So it's like it has to be either like two-tone kind of colors or three-tone colors or something like that. Like you can't be crazy. It has to be something that can fit into like a you know, the mascot motif. Like sports teams or something like that, you know? But also, I love color coding my characters. I love when they have one primary color as their main color. Some of my favorite characters in fiction all have that same gimmick going on. Like when I think about Vash the Stampede, I think red. Or Dante from Devil May Cry, I think red. Or Virgil from Devil May Cry, I think blue. Guy red and blue and you watch a character get possessed by heroism. Thought you were gonna say something else there for a second. Or Claire from Ari, I think red. Well, if you think about it, Claire and Leon are also red and blue, you know? Actually, should be more of like a paler blonde. Into TCG, I don't know why though. Well, that's her whole thing. She's supposed to be like card shop Tanuki girl. That's her whole thing. That was the crux of this character. Red and chump? Did you just call Leon a chump? Damn. Right as Deergly shows up too, it's over. I was about to be like, what the? I was about to Google, what does the back of Magic cards look like? And I'm like, I literally have Magic cards next to me. I don't need to Google that. I meant it affectionately. Oh, hey, Deergly. Deergly, can I tell you? Can I tell you something I experienced in your chat yesterday? I was in Deergly's chat yesterday while he was playing Guilty Gear, and then one of his friends, and I hate to say this way, came in with one of the worst opinions I've ever heard about character design, and I had to leave. I had to leave. I couldn't stay there any longer. I was like, I can't do this. Was it you or someone else? It was somebody else. They were essentially talking about how the cast of Guilty Gear was Bat. Was it Swanky? I didn't want to name any names. You know. But I've never seen an opinion so like also like he does his rage bait, it's his thing. Man, I'm sick of people being rage baiters. Fucking get a personality. Sorry. That came from the heart. He genuinely believes it, but it's all rage bait. You know, I'm all for people having opinions on like things and whatnot, but I feel like when people are objectively like, yeah, this game has bad character designs and stuff like that, I'm like, Guilty Gear. You're saying Guilty Gear of all fighting games has bad character design? That's insane. It just feels like a bad faith like take, you know? That's why I was like, ugh. He plays Bison, it's okay. Oh, then fucking degenerate. Guilty Gear definitely has better designs now that Strive is out. I think Guilty Gear has always had very strong designs. Regardless, Strive or not. Can you tell which specific cards she's playing? It's not even the big booba. It's just that there's genuinely very good character designs in the Guilty Gear franchise. Both male, you know, and female. I bet it's all Karibo. Yeah. I'm an Axel Jort truther. You know why Axel's jorts work, though? It's because of what his fucking inspiration is. The whole point of the Guilty Gear franchise is that it's inspired by music and music artists. Soul Bad Guy is inspired by Freddie Mercury, hence why he has the bright white pants and he always has like the crop jacket, because it's supposed to be representative of Freddie Mercury, especially like later in his life. He's literally named Frederick after Freddie Mercury, you know? Axel is named after what's his name? Angus Young from AC/DC. Is it Angus Young? From AC/DC, who used to go on stage and wear the shorts, who used to wear shorts and like a long sleeve top and all this stuff, and he's like based off of him, and also Axl Rose. It's a combination of Angus Young and Axl Rose. It is literally based off these like legends of music, you know. Jacko's whole outfit is based off like 70s like mod movement of like people wearing the full you know, bodysuits and stuff like that. There's so much of it there, you know. It's like it's an homage to all that stuff. It's very thoughtful, and that's why like I enjoy it so much, is because it is very thoughtful character design, and it perseveres. His jorts are ugly and exerd. Which is funny that you say that, because his exerd design is the closest he looks to Angus Young in terms of all his designs. I don't mind his jorts. His jorts are fine. Do I like his strive design a little better? Yeah. But I don't think Axel has had a bad design. His British swag was so distinct with the jorts. Yeah. It's a lot of callback to specific eras as well. And it makes sense because, hey, guess what? It plays into Axel's story because he's a time traveler. So his style of clothing being very dated also makes sense. Because he's from the past. But anyways, the whole beginning point was yeah, that like I don't know. I can't stand, I think it's just because I'm getting older, and I just like I get tired of like people um I get tired of people just like their only entertainment is like just like rage baiting. I don't know. It's like I want to have like proper talks with people. I don't want it to just be one person being like this thing mid, this thing ass, and that's it. You know? I don't got that much time or energy in the day. He's not trying to rage bait, but like everything that comes out of his mouth happens to be rage bait. That's even worse. I feel like I'd rather it be intentional. From an artist perspective, though, like that was one of the like it was like seeing people talk like that about character designs. It just like it's one of my like kind of pet peeves. So I'm just like I'm gonna head out before like I start arguing with people in Deergly's chat. Yeah. Name three Guilty Gears is so funny to me. Fucking Valentine, Justice, Soul Bad Guy, Jacko, Alfelt, Ramlethal. They were gonna bring up a different moment. That was pretty tame. Oh, you mean when you just showed everyone Soul's bad guy? Derrick had a mod on where he just flashed Soul bad guy's little bad guy on screen. Scarecrow, you know he can't count. I had a moment just now where I was like about to say the most heinous thing to Rock, but I had to stop myself because deep in my soul I like Rock too much, and I don't wanna be mean to him. Like, I had a moment where I had I cocked the gun and I was about to pull the trigger, but then I was like, no, leave the boy be. Say, coward, you won't. I won't. He's too precious, Rosie. I don't want to do that to him. He's my little guy. He's my rotten soldier, my good time boy. Anyways, yeah, I agree with you, Rosie, though. What you were saying was like, I don't understand why some people go out of their way to try hard to make everyone like agree with them that they think something is bad. I'm like, we can agree to disagree on stuff, but I also just hate objective, like people who are just objectively this thing bad, and it's like, and it's no, you just don't like it. It doesn't mean that it's bad, you know? Because if you're looking at things with artistic intent, it's like there's a lot of like very good, well-designed things out there that maybe are just not up to everyone's, you know, taste. That's fine. It doesn't always have to be, you know. But I think blanket statements like this thing just bad. I don't know. They get old to me, and I feel like that's just like a symptom of just like the online experience these days, you know. Also, man, that Twitter bot purge is insane. I almost went back down to 5K followers. Did they do a purge? Oh yeah, lot of artists are losing a lot of followers. Well, it's both a bot purge and also they're purging certain accounts. Apparently, not safe for work accounts are getting hit hard by it. Lost like 3 guys. I lost over 200 followers. Which, in retrospect, also good riddance to the bots, but like also, man, that shit sucks in terms of numbers. Because I was at like 6.2K or something. 20 followers, but I knew they were all bots. Yeah. Like, you know, at the end of the day, numbers, like, fucking, who gives a shit, right? But it it can be a little demoralizing for sure, you know? Chopped anyways, I don't like the follower count made a difference. Don't you ever say that your art is chopped, Rosie. Your art is phenomenal. I love it and many other people love it. You are the opposite of chopped. What is your yeah. What's your problem? Rosie, how dare you talk about Rosie that way? That's one of my favorite artists on the internet. I heard they suck. You take that back. Mods ban Rosie for being mean to Rosie. That's a joke. Don't actually ban her. You're not chopped, dude. You're like the opposite of chopped. You are not chopped and unk. It's okay. I don't think anybody is. You're awesome sauce. Exactly. Hell yeah. Mm. You outright block them as soon as you see them. I don't have that kind of energy. Anyways, here you go. Here's the Tanuki girl. I think I need to start workshopping a name because I don't want to just keep calling her Tanuki girl. Hmm. What is a good name that comes to mind? Tanya? That's a hell of a swing. Tanuki with no balls if you don't name her. Oh my god. Tanya, like the Spanish spelling. Hmm. I love that that's you went there because Tanuki, Tanya. Let me see. I'm trying to think. The other name that just came to mind immediately was May. I don't know. I look at this character and I just think the name May fits, but let me see. Tanya. I hate it because I just the name Tanya Tanuki just pops up in my head. Hmm. Very comic book name. Ugh. Let me think. Let me think. What are my other OC's names? We got Belfie. Uh, we got Belfie. Motherfucking Wow, I'm blanking on my OC names now. Jesus, this is what happens when I just try to think of things. My brain is like shutting down in specific parts. All right. In terms of OCs, what do we got? What are we cooking with? Belfie, Sherry, Bianca, and Yuri. Looking at his head, he can't think of anything else. I don't want to name her Tanya. that one just is like Sammy. Sinner's pronunciation. Tanya, May, Sammy. I don't know why I'm thinking so hard about this. Well, Tanya, I'm pronouncing it the European way, like Russian Tanya. Because that's like the only time I hear that name. Tania? I mean, if I can't think of anything, that might just end up being her name. This is the process that I always struggle with, is naming a character. Either that or no balls. I know somebody else in this chat who has no balls. Story mine, I gave up and applied the Toriyama method. Naming them like objects. Oh, you see, my mind also gravitates towards that. Oh yeah, I forgot about my rat OC as well. Letta. Oh, I named after the color violet. Kurt. Card. You see, that's the thing, is that I was trying to implement the way like a card pun into her name. But I haven't been able to like think of anything. Kari. What? God, I'm trying to think. Karin Tanzuki. God, I'm trying to think. Uh, Maggie, like magic. Hmm. You're kind of cooking there, Gomichi. Do a card pun in the last name. Deck. Last name Deck. Maggie Deckard. I don't even know if she'd have a last name. Hmm. Isn't Deckard is a name. That's a name. Maggie T. It was like Monkey D. Luffy, Maggie T. Gathering. You know what? I'll call her Maggie. Fine, we can call her Maggie. That'll be her name. Maggie Tanuki Gathering. I hate it. I hate it so much. You know what? Yeah. Yeah, you know what? Yeah. Yeah. Oh god. Yeah, her name's Maggie now. The tea gathering part, you know what, chat? That's a between you and me thing. That's an inside joke. Anyways, there we go. This is Maggie, a design that I decided to make because I was inspired by the idea of making a mascot for a card shop. Um, I might do something more with her in the future, but for now, this is kind of just the basic idea. Um, so I hope you guys like her. I'll probably be fleshing out this design way more. Works leagues beyond your regular mental capacities. Oh, I'm very aware, Rosie. But there you go. There indeed is Maggie tea gathering. Insane. Okay, I'm gonna do this just so I can make it easier to. Maggie TG for short. I'm not calling her Maggie TG like publicly. You guys can do that on stream as a for funnies, but oh god. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do the good old fashioned. Oh my god. Jesus Christ, my eyes. Overlay. Why does it all look so weird? Different color. What about saturation? Yeah, Gomichi started the Maggie thing, so proper credit to Gomichi as well. Team effort, Crow. You got to contribute more. I drew the character. I think I contributed a lot. I think I created her. Yeah, came out my no. No, I'm not gonna say it. No, no. Crossy. Don't say Crusty. Don't say. Don't. Ah! Anyways, this was the character design that we did today. Yay! I know the initial sketch is really rough, but eventually I will probably do a proper like character sheet and all that stuff. But I'm glad that you guys seem to like her. I'm glad, you know. Stop saying ussy. Stop it. Cease. Enough. I'm glad that for the most part you guys seem to really appreciate any character designs that I do. Um, you know, I never feel like I have a particularly good eye for character design, but I think you guys give me confidence in that my character designs end up being pretty solid. So I'll take it. But yeah. This is Maggie. So far, watch out. Okay. Why are you threatening me? What did I do? I'm just out here drawing cute girls. Let me be. But yeah, I had fun doing this. I want to do more character design streams where I take two ideas and I try to mesh them into something. So if you guys ever have suggestions for anything, let me know. I'll let you guys know when I feel like doing another one of these sort of character design on the spot sort of streams, and we will reconvene and give it a shot. But yeah, I don't think that, you know, that talk I had with friends about, like, you know, card shop and stuff. I don't know how much that's actually gonna happen, but you know, I'd rather have something locked and loaded in case that does happen than to just go into it unprepared. You know, as somebody who likes to advertise and market myself and knows how to, you know, push things like that. I say, yet I'm very bad at advertising and marketing myself. But yeah, that is this character design. We did that in 3 hours. Yay! My brain works in mysterious ways, chat. Sometimes I really lock in, and other times I can't fucking draw shit. Today was just one of those lucky days where I really had like the creative drive going crazy. I don't know. I guess I've just been in a drawing mood. I've been in a creative mood lately, and I think it's helping me a lot. Yesterday, I was like, you know what? Lilith ass. And today, I was like, card game playing Tanuki girl with big naturals. And yeah, and here we are. This is always a good cure. I saw a lot of people drawing really nice Liliths, and I saw the Darkstalkers collab stuff going up, and I was like, man, I want to draw something. And I was like, I want to draw Lilith again, so I did. And also, I don't need an excuse to draw ass. I always want to draw ass. Anyways, on that note, though, I don't know if I'm going to be streaming tomorrow. That is up in the air, but maybe so, maybe not. I've been feeling a little worn out past couple of days, so I might just take an extended little like break, like Tuesday, Wednesday, and then be back on Thursday for a stream. But I'll let you guys know how I'm feeling. So no promises about tomorrow, and streaming and all that stuff. But if I do, I will let you guys know. I think that Crow should definitely take care of himself and rest. I think that's something your streamer needs to do more often. Actually rest. Because I don't do that enough, and my girlfriend tells me constantly that I need to do that more. And I should very much listen to her. But as for next stream is most likely going to be like a game stream. I don't know yet what I would play. Maybe we'll jump back into some more Guilty Gear. Speaking of, I know Dearly's been wanting to play, so maybe by next time we will play some matches against each other. But at least give me a little bit of time to practice some more, get better with Unga Bunga Jam, so that I can properly fight you. And then if anybody else wants to play or join up, hey, that's also there too. Definitely the Guilty Gear might get a little practice in, so that I'm not so chopped. Hell yeah, dude. Always excited to play with more people. But on that note, lots of I made a post about it in the Discord before, but I just wanted to say about things that are going to be coming down the line. I've been debating on making another YouTube channel that's just dedicated to like stream stuff, like gameplay compilations and more like stream focused videos. Not like a VOD channel, but like edited down like playthroughs and stuff like that. And I don't know how much like people would like that, or if I should just dump that on my main channel as well. I don't know. I don't know what the best course of action is there. I'm still thinking about it. Because the VOD channel is there is just for like full on VODs, but like I think having more edited, concise, bite-sized things from like stream and whatnot would be nice. I think most of my followers don't care. They'll just watch whatever like I'll put up as long as it's entertaining and well done. But we'll see. I mean, I barely upload anything to my channel to begin with, so it doesn't fucking hurt to just put stuff on there. In the meantime, while I like come up with other like video ideas and whatnot, I'm getting my space set up for being able to do the art book videos and stuff like that. So that's gonna be coming soon. There's a lot of stuff down the line that I really want to do, stuff that I for YouTube and whatnot. I'm into it, Chad. I'm not flaking on it. I'm not not doing it. I'm getting ready to do it. I'm preparing everything so that I can get back into doing that and make it a regular thing. Because yeah, I miss doing that. And I like talking about the stuff that I'm passionate about with you guys. And I'm sure you guys like hearing me yap about weird niche art things or creators or artists or design sensibility things that all coincide with each other and whatnot. At least I hope you do. I mean, there's got to be a reason you guys are still showing up all the time, right? Anyways, but yeah, so look forward to that. I have no time frame on when that's gonna like be coming up, but hopefully soon. Hopefully soon. That is what I can say. Hopefully soon. But yeah, thank you so much everybody for stopping by. I hope you have a good rest of your morning, afternoon, evening, whatever time it is for you, and I'll see you later. Bye-bye.